Hello everyone. I guess I'm online now. Yes, I am. So thank you all for participating in this stream. I hope you had a nice, wonderful Sunday. And this is gonna be yet another Sunday live stream, traditional at this point, I guess. And as always, first of all, I will go through some news. I did prepare several news to share, and then we can I will try to answer in the chat whenever I see some comments. Sorry, some technical stuff here. It's sometimes it's maybe nerve-wracking, man, to operate with all these programs. Anyway, sorry for this, some technical issue here. And let's talk about news now, I guess. Let's talk about news. Because of this short delayed on YouTube, delayed is a little shorter than on Rumble. On YouTube it's about a minute, I guess. On Rumble little longer, and therefore I find it difficult to understand when I am online and when I'm not. Dear friends, I did see your questions, and after I will go through some news, I will go back to chat and I will try to answer to your questions, and we can have some exchange of opinions, really. So first of all, of course, I will report that today Kiev regime conducted strikes on Donetsk, Tekstilshik micro district in the Donetsk city. Most likely all of you are informed about this, and unfortunately, according to latest news that I see, in this case from TASS News Agency, 27 civilians, residents of Donetsk, were killed, and 25 civilians are wounded. Another war crime of Kiev regime. Moscow did react on this crime, and strong statements were made. People are very angry, understandably, because for the last several weeks, probably you did notice that Kiev regime began, without any doubts, intentionally target civilians. This happened in Belgorod before New Year, on New Year's Eve. Then Donetsk city was targeted several times, and today also. This is pure desperation on part of Kiev regime. They cannot achieve any success on the battlefield, and therefore, they're using weapons that usually are delivered from NATO member states to conduct these war crimes against civilians. There will be retaliation, I have no doubts about it, and everyone who was participating in these war crimes against civilians will be punished one way or another, today or in a year's time, but they will definitely pay a price for their crimes. Let's continue now. And TASS News Agency also reported that, according to Russian Defense Ministry, 3 Ukrainian missiles were shot down over the Black Sea, while they were approaching Crimean Peninsula. No reports on any damage. Obviously, the missiles were shot down over the sea. Also, RIA Novosti's report that, according to Russian militaries that are operating in the Donetsk sector, Ukrainian special unit Lut. It's a brigade. It's a brigade of special purpose or special force brigade, some kind of Ukrainian armed forces that operates in Donetsk sector. This brigade was almost completely destroyed in Klishevka area several months ago, and then this brigade was withdrawn from line of contact. Most likely they received reinforcements, additional weapons, and they were sent back to the front line. Although if previously they were operating on the southern flank of Donetsk in Klishevka, Andreevka area, and as I said, they were destroyed there. Now they are operating on the northern flank of Donetsk, and according to Russian militaries, this unit called Spetsnaz or Special Forces Unit, but it's I mean, they are running away, according to Russian soldiers. Once you put pressure on them, they are running away. Not surprising, really, because at this point, I guess very few Ukrainian soldiers have any doubts that they have been used as a cannon fodder by Kyiv regime, and most likely majority of them don't really want to die for Zelensky, his criminal associates, or Western masters of those, and therefore whenever situation is critical enough, many units, including this Lut unit, is retreating, running away. And I did report this morning that Bogdanovka on the northern flank of Bakhmut is almost under full Russian control. Ukrainian units are holding some positions on the western outskirts of this village. That it's only a matter of time, I guess, day or two, and Russian forces will establish full control over this village. Then next gonna be Grigorievka, of course, and Kalinovka. And also today I did see on some channels, on some Telegram channels, that Russian forces are closing in to Ivanovskaya also, which is Krasnaya. Russian name is Krasnaya, Ukrainian name is Ivanovskaya, which is right next to Bakhmut city itself. Well, right now I don't expect any offensives on direction of Chisov Yar yet. I guess Russian forces will still use this current line of contact to demilitarize as many Ukrainian units as possible, but obviously of course it's a matter of time, months, two, or whatever it will take, and eventually Russian side general staff will authorize large-scale offensive operations, and of course Chisov Yar and Konstantinovka will become main hotspots. And after Russian forces establish full control over this defense line of Ukrainian forces, next in Donetsk sector gonna be, of course, Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, last more or less capable defense line of Ukrainian armed forces. Let's continue with the news. RT reported that, well, according to French foreign minister, Russia could control 30% of global wheat exports if Russia will win this conflict with the global West or collective West in the Ukraine. Well, there is no question if. Only question is when this will happen, when this will formalize, when victory of Russia will be formalized on battlefield, because Russia already won this conflict with the ruling class of the West and their proxies in Ukraine. Question is when formalization of this victory will take place. And when it comes to French foreign minister's statement, Stéphane Séjourne, well, Russia will control, I guess, 50% of world wheat exports in give it to 10-15 years, and that's what's gonna happen, I guess. And not just because vast territories of Ukraine will become under full Russian control, but because in Russia itself more and more land is cultivated, because agriculture is it's a huge business, profitable business, and therefore it's only a matter of time. And Russia will become a major breadbasket for this world, although Russia is already one of the major breadbaskets, of course. So, you know, French foreign minister was kind of worried that if Russia will become this major player on this market, France will suffer because of it. French farmers, which is of course not really the case, because world population is on rise, and I don't think we will be in a situation when there will be too much wheat or too much grain on the market. It's not happening. It may, exactly opposite may happen. So French farmers will definitely have a market where to sell its grain. Although I don't think France is a major player on this market anyway. This is one more opportunity for a minister of France to say something bad about Russia. That's all. They are using every single opportunity to say something bad about Russia. In this case, I mean, why should anyone worry that Russia will become a major player on the wheat market? Russia demonstrated time after time, or time and again, that you know, Russia is one of the most responsible partners when it comes to business. Maybe extremely responsible. Take a look at the energy supplies to Europe. Russia is still supplying EU member states with the gas through pipeline that goes through Ukraine, and will continue to supply as long as there is a contract in the place. And same will happen when Russia will become a major player on the world food market. If there is a contract, then Russia will fulfill its obligations no matter what. Anyway, let's continue. RT reports that NATO state calls its citizens. You're gonna laugh from this news, man. NATO state calls its citizens to invest in tanks. And guess which country is that, by the way? Most likely, you guessed correctly, it's one of the Baltic states, Lithuania to be more precise. So Lithuanian economy minister Aušrinė Armoraitė has issued a call for citizens to finance the country's defense industry, telling them to invest in tanks rather than keep hold of their savings. Where Western ruling class is finding these crazies, man, that then are put in these decision-making positions, man. And why are they are not even trying to put some more or less adequate people in those positions? Why this level of crazies? I don't get it, really. Discussing her proposal with the Lithuanian national radio and television, LRT, the minister claimed that the government needs to be more active in outlining what it expects from citizens, especially regarding support for Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. There are ways, for example, to borrow money from residents for military spending. Armoraitė stated, while stressing that citizens should not expect substantial returns on any investments. Unbelievable, man. I have heard criticism of the idea of such a bonds, but there is a lot of money that people still have. Maybe it's better stop keeping it in a stock, but to invest in the tanks. She added, goodness me, man. Unbelievable, unbelievable. How are you gonna comment this in a serious manner? I mean, I feel sorry for Lithuanians that they have this crazy government. And it seems like many Lithuanians are realizing this, and that they don't even want to listen to the so-called leaders no more. And this minister is moving from radio to TV and then trying somehow to explain themselves, to encourage their fellow citizens to give up their savings. And by the way, same time, openly stating that citizens should not expect any significant returns on their investments. So, I mean, who are these people, man? I mean, are they created in some kind of lab and they are experiment of some sort? What the heck is going on? Unbelievable. RT is also reporting that UK to become only G20 member without steel production. Well, lately, almost on daily basis, some news are coming in about some difficulties in the economies of the major European states. And UK is no exception. So let's read the news here. Steel producer Tata Steel, if I'm not mistaken, this is Indian company, isn't it? Tata Steel. Or maybe Mexican. Whatever the case, steel producer Tata Steel plans to close blast furnaces at its fourth Tabot plant in South Wales, and lay off nearly 3,000 workers, according to media reports. The move, which is part of major restructuring of the company's UK operations, will reportedly leave the UK as the only G20 economy unable to make steel from scratch. Well, too bad, man. 3,000 workers, 3,000 ordinary people like us may lose job. That's too bad. That's too bad, really. But yet again, this is a direct result, I guess, of policies of British ruling class, ruling elites, isn't it? They make economy in Britain so uncompetitive that it's no longer worth, I guess, for this Tata Steel to maintain its plant in the UK. And this plant will move somewhere else, I guess. RT is reporting that US is preparing for a sustained Yemen bombing campaign, according to Washington Post. US is preparing for a sustained bombing campaign in Yemen after 10 days of airstrikes failed to undermine the ability of Houthi fighters to target ships in the Red Sea. The Washington Post has reported, citing unnamed officials, the administration of President Joe Biden does not expect protracted operations such as the US campaigns in Iraq or Afghanistan, but at the same time, it cannot provide a time frame for when Houthi military capabilities will be adequately diminished. The newspaper reported on Saturday. Well, I have a news for Biden's administration. No matter how long they're gonna bomb Ansar Allah movement and their fighters, then you're gonna achieve much from these bombing campaigns. After all, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, they were bombing Ansar Allah organization for years, 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. For 9 straight years, they were bombing them with the very same military equipment that US is using. F-15, F-16, fighters, modern drones, and so on. Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, they are equipped with NATO weapons, US weapons mainly. And what they did achieve with these bombing campaigns, all they did is create humanitarian catastrophe in Yemen, and that's it. And they were unable to defeat Houthi rebels or Ansar Allah movement, and eventually they were forced to sign peace agreement with them, sign agreement for ceasefire. And well, if Biden's administration is thinking that they can destroy military capabilities of Houthis by conducting air raids, they are very much mistaken. They are very much mistaken. And well, if White House is now considering increasing bombing campaigns, then I guess Pentagon and White House also considering some ground operations also. And then Yemen definitely may become second Afghanistan for US troops, because I don't think they're gonna achieve much even in ground operations. But this is a big issue, first of all, for US citizens. They should, raise their voice and said that, I mean, enough is enough. I mean, there is too many conflicts that US really is involved and spends billions and billions when this money can be used inside the US to deal with plenty of issues that people care about, really. Also, you may find this news interesting. So Israel approves sales of world's first lab-grown beef. Well, something not about politics and wars and that kind of stuff. Interesting that Israel is the first country where this artificial beef will be sold. Let's see. Let's read several sentences here. An Israeli company has received preliminary approval from the government to sell the world's first steaks made from cultivated beef cells. The country's health ministry announced this week. The ministry said that the approval was part of a pilot program for alternative protein carried out by the Department of Food Risks Management. It's also cited the growing global demand for products of non-living origin, adding it is working to approve alternative food sources. Well, if this artificial steak is based on beef cells, then maybe it will look like meat and will taste like meat. I have no idea, but I'm gonna be honest with you, dear friends. I don't even want to try. It's like those vegan burgers and that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess this artificial beef will gain very same attitude from public, that it's not real. It's something, I don't know. Although, I mean, most likely this artificial beef industry in this business, some big names most likely are heavily involved and invested, like people like Bill Gates and the rest of them, and therefore this narrative, this topic will be pushed over the society for sure. We already hearing that I mean, cows are too bad, farms are too bad, and everything should be artificial, and so on. So I guess in 10-15 years time, this business, artificial beef, will become something that will overtake at least some percentage of market in the Western world, first of all, because in the rest of the world, I mean, we are not really in a rush for this fake stuff, like fake meat and fake this and fake that. I mean, it's a Western thing that every second human now in the West is too sensitive, that I mean, you cannot eat beef because it's cow and living thing. Well, plants are also living things in that case. And what? Why are you eating plants then? So anyway, let's continue. RT is reporting that Egypt is there are differences, isn't it? There are some vegans. I don't even know what really makes them different from each other, those vegans, and there are some other types of these people that don't really eat meat or any product that comes from living animals. Well, I'm definitely not their fan, so that's why I cannot remember names. But they have like 2-3 names different, and if you say they are the same, they will get mad at you, because for them they are different. For me, they are all the same, man. Crazies. Anyway, let's continue. Egypt failing out of favor with the vegetarians. Yes, that's it, man. Vegetarians, vegans, and there are some other stuff also. I mean, they are forgetting that we are humans. We are humans, and our diet for thousands and thousands of years was based on meat, on proteins, and we are hunters. That's what we are, really. And without changing human, I mean, without changing human race, you're not gonna change human diet, I guess. Anyway, let's continue. Egypt is failing out of favor with the Russian tourists. The number of bookings made by Russians for the popular Egyptian tourist destinations of Cairo and Sharm el-Sheikh in January has seen a year-on-year decline of 14%. Russian Business Daily Commerçant reported earlier this week, citing calculations by the travel website Astro.ru. Well, interesting news, although I would not say that Egypt is failing out of favor of Russian tourists. It's just, you know, Middle East yet again become a hotspot on the world map, and many thousands of potential tourists most likely are, you know, choosing different destinations for travel. That's all, because Egypt is, I mean, is and always will be one of the major destinations for everybody, in all countries worldwide, because it's Egypt, by the way. It's one of the oldest civilizations that exists for now. You know, Egypt, if you ask me, I mean, China, India, Indo-Pacific region in general, Middle East, of course, Greek, obviously, Italy, undoubtedly, and when it comes to North Africa, of course, Egypt, they're gonna be favorites of, in my understanding, favorite destinations for tourists forever, as long as humanity exists, because those countries are too rich with the history, with the ancient history and stuff. And if you are, you know, if you love ancient history, then of course you're gonna travel in those countries, you know. And of course, by the way, Latin America, wow, civilizations of Incas and Mayas, also, you know, they build unbelievable pyramids, by the way. And some people are suggesting that, some scientists are suggesting that Amazon forest, if you clear up Amazon forest, you may find quite a number of cities of those ancient civilizations that are now completely covered with the green. And because of deforestation process in Brazil, now more and more evidences are becoming clear that significant part of Amazon forest previously, thousands of years ago, were populated areas with the huge cities. So yes, I mean, there are plenty of places in this world that, I mean, if you love, especially if you love like ancient history, you will always want to go. And Egypt is one of them, obviously. And that's why I think this information is correct, of course. This is statistics, I mean, numbers don't lie. But I think citizens here in Russia most likely change their mind to travel to Egypt because of instability in the region. That's all, really. And well, this is it. This is it for short summary. And now And now let's see chat. If there is any questions, by the way, I will try to answer. And dear friends, let me remind you that if you want to, of course, if you can, and if you want to, you can use donation alerts program that is in the description box to support channel. You can ask questions simultaneously, and I will constantly check donation alerts, and you can do so also with Buy Me a Coffee. I will constantly check if there is any donation on Buy Me a Coffee, and first of all I will try to answer on those questions, of course, if they will be some. For now there is nothing, although, by the way, I have to thank Anonym for donation from previous Sunday live stream. I guess this person donated after live stream ended, therefore I did not see this donation, and he wrote that please add the Bitcoin Cash donation address. Well, thank you for suggestion. I did receive such suggestions quite a number of times, and I know this cryptocurrencies are big thing, and I need to have a wallet in some of the platforms with these cryptocurrencies, but I just don't know how to do it. I just don't know. Otherwise I will do it, but I just don't know where, how, and which platform is safe one, which is not. And because I don't have it with these platforms that I use, donation alerts, for example, PayPal, Buy Me Coffee, Patreon page, those platforms are known for a while, and therefore they are safe. But when it comes to bitcoins or cryptocurrencies, I have no idea about this topic at all, and therefore I don't have a bullet in that. But I will try to learn. I will definitely try to learn. So because I did not mention this comment during the previous Sunday, I wanted to mention it now. And if you are watching this update, thank you very much for your donation and suggestion. I will try to come up with the crypto wallet. That's name, I guess. And well, let me go through questions now. If I see any, I see. If not, then I guess this update will be, this live stream will be little short. So question, barbecue and roll. Hypothesis: NATO officially enters the conflict. Do you think it is possible or probable that China and North Korea will come to Russia's aid with their own troops? If this is theoretical discussion, just a thought experiment. So if we imagine that there is full-scale conflict between Russia and NATO, then this is a global war. Then this is global nuclear war. And everybody will get involved one way or another. And the entire world eventually will be destroyed. So therefore, if you ask me personally, I will say I don't believe that there will be full-scale war between Russia and NATO. I just don't see it coming. Yes, there are too many crazies in the political leadership of the West, but I believe somewhere there, maybe in so-called deep state, maybe in militaries, they are also sane people and do realize that any direct conflict with Russia will mean end of this world. And therefore they will stop those crazies that are running around with these crazy ideas and calls. Some sort of skirmishes between Russian and NATO forces most likely will take place. Still, I don't believe in full-scale war, but I think it is possible that some local-scale skirmishes will take place between Russian forces and NATO forces, especially when full-scale disintegration begins of Ukraine, because at some point when NATO states, when NATO forces establish control of the western regions of Ukraine, Russian forces will be on opposite side. Russian forces for that moment will establish control of the rest of the Ukraine, most likely. And therefore, because two forces will be against each other, some misunderstandings, some local scale skirmishes may take place. But still, it will not provoke full-scale conflict between the sides, because it's a suicide. It's gonna be suicidal for everybody. Therefore, that's my answer. And because I don't believe there will be full-scale conflict between NATO and Russia, I don't think Chinese or North Korean militaries will participate in this conflict. I mean, there may be some agreement between the Moscow and, this is pure speculation, by the way, there may be some agreement between Moscow and, let's say, Beijing, and some Chinese officers to gain some experience may be in Russia to observe how, tactics and strategies that are implemented in the battlefield, to gain some experience, because China may have biggest army in this world, but almost no one in Chinese army has battle experience, especially officers. Last time China fought war was with Vietnam some 50 years ago, if not more. And therefore, to gain experience, of course, it's going to be big stuff for Chinese PLA. And therefore, I think it is possible that some officers maybe are here and communicating with the Russian Defense Ministry to learn some more and receive some experience, but they're not going to participate in real clashes. I just don't see it. So this is my answer. I hope I did answer to your question. Let's find some more questions now. Dear friends, if you can please mark your question with the capital Q or write entire question with capital letters. That will make it a little easier to read the question. So DF is asking why they don't donate their salaries, Lithuanian government. That's a good question. That's a legit question. Let them donate entire their salaries and buy like half tank and send it to Kiev regime. I mean, those people really are, very, very strange, let's say diplomatically, in the leadership of, I will not say all European states, but I will say at least some European states, definitely have very strange leadership. And strange is mildly said. They are making such a crazy statements that, because they are high-ranking officials, they are representing their countries. You have to pay attention, obviously, because they talk on the name of their country. But statements themselves are so inadequate that it really becomes more and more difficult to take these people seriously at all. Questions. Oh, I see question. Evgenius BC Mumba, great things happening in the Ukraine war. What do you think is the most significant last 24 hours? Well, unfortunately, in last 24 hours, this tragedy occurred when Kiev regime shelled Donetsk and the 27 civilians died. So this is a #1 topic here in Russia at this point. 25 people are wounded, and unfortunately there is a risk that this number of casualties will further increase. And unfortunately, this is not the first and not the last time when Kiev regime is conducting such war crimes, targeting civilian areas intentionally. When it comes to battlefield itself, as I reported this morning, I don't know, maybe in last hour or two, some crucial changes happened on the line of contact. I will, of course, check all the news before tomorrow's first update to provide you with the latest news. But from today, what I learned is that Russian forces are continuing successful local-scale offensive in Avdiivka area. Also, Russian forces are successfully increasing pressure on the Bakhmut flanks, and Russian forces increasing pressure and moving forward in Krasny Liman and Kupiansk directions. So, and this is all very important. This is all very important, but we are still talking about local scale skirmishes, although one may say that some breakthrough already happened in Avdiivka, because it definitely seems like Ukrainian defense lines in the southern Avdiivka are collapsing. But I mean, I think it's too early to call that. I mean, defense lines are collapsing. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Avdiivka is a quite big area, and I mean, as I said quite a number of times before, if Russian side don't plan any large-scale offensive operations right now in next, let's say, couple of weeks or even couple of months, then if I was head of general staff, I will think, you know what, let's use Avdiivka a little more. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down a little bit and increase pressure, although let's use Avdiivka as a trap for a little longer, for another month or two, and demilitarize another brigade or two brigades there. That's what my approach will be. And I will do very same in Kupiansk direction, when this Terny settlement is, for example. I would not push to establish control over the Terny if I have no plans to conduct large-scale offensive operation in near future. I will use Terny because I have fire control over the supply and support lines. I will use Terny as a, for example, as a trap. So that's, but yet again, I'm no military expert, by the way. So my understanding of situation may be different than understanding or reading of big picture from military experts. And that's why I'm always highlighting that I'm no military expert. There are military channels, there are people who have military experience, and their opinion on this topic definitely are much more competent than mine. I'm civilian, I'm journalist. So let's continue. Z1 to it writes, John, Patrick's report already out. I don't know, if I'm not mistaken, on YouTube I did see that video was, or it was not his. I think Lancaster was planning to upload new video about situation in Donetsk after this shelling. So I don't know about when. Most likely, yes, Patrick Lancaster, that's what am I talking about. John Butterbrook is writing. Yes, I did saw on YouTube announcement that video was would be published soon, and most likely already published. And of course, Patrick Lancaster does a great job to inform public directly from Donbass, very often from areas where these strikes are taking place. Valentina Garcia Fernandez is asking, any news about destitution of the Zaluzhny and appointment of Budanov? Well, this is an interesting topic. I did hear these rumors, I did read about it, that Zaluzhny is replaced, will be replaced by Budanov. But I mean, I don't think Budanov is in a position to become head of general staff. General staff is a place for generals that are simultaneously scientists in military matters. Generals that have some knowledge in military history and how to conduct military operations. When I hear this news, I could not believe this, because Budanov is who the hell is Budanov? He is just criminal who was appointed as a head of military intelligence, and he is using institutions to conduct terrorist activity on Russian soil. He is not intellectual or anything like that. So I don't think he is even close to intellectually to position like head of general staff. In Ukraine, anything may happen, but if you take a look at this as from military standpoint, appointment of Budanov as head of general staff not makes any sense whatsoever. I mean, who is Budanov? What he knows about military operations, really? Nothing. So I mean, he can conduct, and he did prove that he can conduct terrorist acts. And he was involved directly. He gave orders to conduct terrorist acts on Russian soil. But one thing is terrorism, and the very different is to plan operations on the scale of armies. So I don't think it's I don't know. I mean, Zelensky is, I mean, crazy Zelensky. And by the way, what is the point for Zelensky to appoint Budanov as head of general staff? Because he has issues with Budanov also. He has issues not just with Zaluzhny, but also with Budanov. So therefore, I don't see it. I don't see logic behind this move, but anything is possible. In modern Ukraine, anything is possible. And you, Valentina Garcia Fernandez, you clearly notice here that if Budanov will be appointed, then that will be shifting Kiev regime's policies towards terrorist activity. Yes, absolutely agree with you. And exactly because of it, I mean, Army, Secret Service, military intelligence is a specific organization like any other secret service, but and they have specific training, specific weaponry, and so on. But when it comes to army, when it comes to general stuff, and formally, by the way, this military intelligence of that Budanov is head of is part of militaries. But yet again, what he knows about planning large-scale military operations, man? Did he even read a single book of any well-known generals that had experience of planning military operations? Or I don't know. I just don't see logic behind this kind of move. Tim Gibson is asking, why do they stay in the trenches? Ukrainian soldiers, I guess you are asking. They are afraid. I mean, there were so many instances when platoon, for example, of Ukrainian forces are deciding to lay down arms and surrender. They are contacting Russian forces, and then they are becoming under fire of Ukrainian forces, Ukrainian artillery, and so on. And they are then obliterated. Many instances of this kind of stuff. We all know about these detachments of blocking units, Azov units, and also mercenaries. And after all, about 2 months ago, there was famous or infamous video was circulating in internet when Ukrainian soldiers are point blank range shooting at the mercenaries that were trying to stop them. These Ukrainian soldiers were running away. They knew probably that these mercenaries were this detachment unit, blocking detachment unit, and they did not spend time. They opened fire on them straight away. And in that video, you clearly can see that at least 2 mercenaries were shot. So this is one reason why soldiers are not surrendering in mass, at least for now, at this point. Second reason is they have relatives in Kiev-controlled territory. And if they will surrender, then maybe their relatives will be harmed in Kiev-controlled territory. And this is big topic, isn't it? This is big issue. And there may be other reasons also, of course. Propaganda, by the way, plays huge role. We don't know what Ukrainian propaganda tells those soldiers, how they will be treated in Russian captivity. If they are scared to death to end up in Russian captivity because of this propaganda, and if they don't know real information, if they did not see information from Russian side, then they may just scare to surrender because of this fake propaganda of the Kiev regime. That's also a factor. And by the way, some are ideologized so much so that they are willing to fight and die for for whatever the ideology is. I would not say that all of them are forcefully mobilized. No, 20-30% maybe are willing to fight. Maybe they are volunteers even. And they are indoctrinated in this neo-Nazi crazy ideology, and they are willing to die for whatever craziness have been put in their heads. Let me check here. Nothing here, and let me check here. Oh, by the way, I had a donation on Buy Me a Coffee, so I will read, if I may. Hello, Levan. I don't see donation button on YouTube live chat. I do see them on Rumble live chat. Unknown. Thank you very much for your donation. Point is that my channel is not monetized, and thank you for a coffee. Point is that my channel is not monetized on YouTube, and therefore you cannot donate through YouTube itself. On Rumble, my channel is monetized, and that's why you see donation button on Rumble and you don't see it on YouTube. Nothing I can do, unfortunately, about it. It's a policy of YouTube. All Russian channels are not monetized on YouTube. So, but Rumble has different policies, and my channel is monetized there. Once again, thank you for your donation, and let's continue with questions. Sorry, dear friends, if I missed any question. I will probably, but I see a question. Oh, I did answer on this. So how would the Hindus eat lab-grown beef? No. I think so, no. Question is, I don't know. I mean, I'm not well educated in Hindu religion, but I don't know. Most likely, no. Marilyn Hudson is writing, better than the kangaroo meat in the bangers at the McDonald's. Well, are you eat kangaroo meat in Australia? I don't know that, And why you gonna eat kangaroo meat in Australia when you have one of the greatest beefs, by the way? After Japan, Australian beef is number one, isn't it? And some may even argue that Australian beef is the number one because Japanese Wagyu beef is just too fatty and you're not gonna enjoy that much. I mean, you may eat one piece or two and that's it. It's just too fatty. From what I read and watch, by the way, I never tasted any of it. Wagyu beef from Japan or beef from Australia, but I do know that by marbling and the quality, Australia is number one after Japan. But yet again, it's kind of who prefers what. For many Japanese, Wagyu gonna be too fatty, I guess, too overwhelming. Let's say this way. Yes, John Butterbro is writing vegans. When I was struggling to remember names, I was thinking to remember these vegetarians. They are vegetarians that eat just plants, as I understand. Then they are vegans, and I don't really know what is difference between them. Not vegetarians, not vegans are not eating meat, as I understand. And there is another group also that don't eat meat and are different from vegans and vegetarians. It's quite confusing for me personally because I'm not really indoctrinated in this philosophy of you just only eat plants and to eat meat is bad and stuff. I don't know, man. I can understand if people want to make sure that these animals are kept in a decent situation, in decent farms, and many farms, by the way, most expensive meat comes from the farms where animals are kept in okay conditions, really. But to stop eating meat entirely, I don't think how it's good, really, for your health or for anything, really. Question 1: what is your favorite meal or type of meat? When it comes to meat, I was talking about meat right now. Timothy Powell is asking. Here in Russia, by the way, we, like I guess everywhere, we also have this tradition of barbecue, and we call it shashlik here in Russia, for example. In Georgia, we call it mtswadi. And when it comes to shashlik, our barbecue, usually we use pork meat, because on open fire or charcoal, pork meat becomes very tender, and it's good. It's just good. I'm not food critic, and I don't know all these terminologies, this Maillard effect, and I don't know all that stuff, but it's nice. So first of all, we use pork meat for barbecues, and I prefer pork meat also. I do enjoy barbecue like majority, and of course I use pork whenever I'm making barbecue. Also chicken goes well on a charcoal, on open fire. And well, when it comes to beef, from beef we are making, usually we are making some sauces, some hot dishes. In Georgia we call it, for example, ostry. Ostry you can translate as a hot, in terms of hot because of spice, and many other dishes that I mean, you can use beef. But yet again, I mean, if you are talking about like barbecue, then pork and the chicken. And if you are talking about some sauces with meat, of course, then beef, definitely. I don't like lamb because it's too fatty. I know it's a great tastes great, and it's everybody loves lamb, but I don't. You know. Question. Oh, I hear it tastes like lobster. Is that true? Oh, I guess John is asking about kangaroo meat. I don't know. Is it even legal to eat kangaroo in Australia? I have no idea. Wisdoms who God's asking Lloyd Austin, where are you, man? Lloyd Austin is working from home. I did read a few days ago, day before yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that he was released from hospital and he will continue work from home. How long is this update? It's already more than an hour, dear friends. Let me check here. And let me check here. So it's more than an hour now. I will try to go towards the end. If I see questions, I will answer. If not, then I will end this update, if I may. Oh, Merlin Hudson. There is no donation button on the... Merlin Hudson is asking, where is the donate button for this live stream in YouTube chat? There is none, because my channel is not monetized on YouTube. There is no such a button. It is on Rumble, though, because my channel is monetized there, but not on YouTube. Questions? Question: could the civil war break out in Ukraine? Andy Bray is asking, could the civil war break out in Ukraine? This is a big question. This is a big question because of this conflict, internal conflict between these three camps that hold military power. One is Zelensky, and he has police and SBU, Secret Service, under control. Some other formations also. Then there is Budanov, who is head of military intelligence, which is formally part of defense ministry, and Zaluzhny is a boss for Budanov also, but in reality Budanov acts independently, and I don't think he listens to anybody except his CIA curators. And then there is Zaluzhny's camp with military. And well, if Zelensky makes some strong moves against one of these individuals, then well, some military clashes, some armed clashes may take place inside Kiev, inside Ukraine itself. So yes, if you ask me if there is a more or less significant risk that or chance that civil war will break out in Ukraine, I will say yes, it's quite possible. And some may even say it's inevitable, but it's definitely possible. Jared Troy writes that I've been watching the Australian Open and noticed that they are still not allowing the Russian flag to be shown alongside Russian players' name. Well, that's a Russophobia in action, dear friend. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad what is happening in the Western states, in states of this collective West. What Russian flag has to do with anything, really. And now, today they are banning Russian flag. Tomorrow they're going to ban Russian language. And in some countries, by the way, Russian language already under ban. And if you speak in Russian, you may end up having some trouble. Especially in Baltic states, by the way. The Russophobia in Baltic states are definitely in a level that I don't think current generations there even ever be able to get rid of this disease, this xenophobia. Maybe new generations in some 20, 30, 50 years time will become lesser xenophobes, because if those people hate Russians, by the way, just because they are Russians, that means that they are capable to hate people for no reason. So they will hate any other people also. Just give them direction, and if today they are hating us, tomorrow they may hate, I don't know, Poles, for example, or Germans. Or just, you give them direction, and because they are full of this hatred, they will hate everybody that you will give them direction towards to. And this is, I mean, really sad, because I truly understand, truly find it difficult to understand logic behind their thinking, because how are you gonna hate entire group of people just because they are in this group of people? I mean, it's sick, isn't it? I mean, how for God's sake, man? I mean, they are hating us. Why? What I did to harm any Estonian ever in my life, or any Latvian or any Lithuanian? What I did to harm them in any ways? Nothing. And I'm not intended to, and I will never do nothing to harm them. Why should I? But they still hate me, isn't it? That's how crazy it is, man. And what you notice here, that Russian flag is not allowed, well, that's also Russophobia, isn't it? If Russian flag harm anybody in Australia or anywhere else. Where are you? Yama Valentina is asking, where are you? I'm in Moscow region. I'm in Moscow region right now. I'm living in Moscow region, not far away from capital. It's significantly cheaper here, and Moscow is close enough. So if you have some business to go to Moscow, you can do it, and Moscow is too expensive for me, for us, for my household. Moscow is too expensive. We cannot afford this. But I mean, for example, similar flat here we pay about $500. In Moscow it's gonna be 1,000 at least, if you will even find for $1,000 in rubles, of course. But and we have to go closer to Moscow, because next year my older daughter is going to university, and well, if we manage to do so, of course it will be, we will try to move a little bit close to Moscow, so that travel time to university and back will not be as long as it can be from here, because but if we are unable to move close to Moscow, then, well, she will go to university from here. That's Levan. Then Jeps is asking, on what side of the road do you drive in Russia? It's opposite of England, by the way. And I guess there are several countries that have wheels on the right side. We have wheels on the left side. It's a wheel, isn't it, in English? So we have wheels on the left side, but in UK and in number of other countries, wheels are, in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, wheels are on the right side also, like in England. Yes, it is in Japan. And in some other countries also. Not that many though. Questions. Dear friends, sorry if I miss your question or commentary. One day, and don't be surprised if one day you will see me with glasses. I'm too old now, you know. Maybe no, not too old, but old enough so that if I'm struggle a little bit to read from this distance, about meter away, it's okay, I guess. And it's too. Thank you very much for your kind words, dear friends, in the comments. Levan, look at the needish question. Where should I look at it? I'm trying, dear friends. I don't see questions. So Jan Valentina is asking, look at needish question. Sorry, dear friends, if I don't see your questions. Let me check here. Ruski Brat donated on donation alerts. Thank you very much. And question is, do you like Barna and ice swimming afterwards? Banya and swimming afterwards. Oh, cheers, Levan. Thank you very much, Ruski Brat. Спасибо огромное. Who don't like Banya? And usually, last time I was in Banya, I went in snow because there was no river near. But I don't think there is many people that don't like Banya. It's great, of course, and it's not just about, you know, it's a cultural stuff, isn't it? It's a gathering of close people, and you are you know, having discussion and rest, and it's a great tradition here in Russia, and I guess in other northern countries also. In Finland, I believe there is similar tradition. I guess in Norway also, with some differences, but here in Russia, Banya, if you visit Russia ever, of course you have to experience Banya, and it's great. You're gonna love it. Especially when you come out from Banya, and I don't know, it's too hot there. And when you jump into snow, for example, or in the cold water, by the way, cold water is a better alternative. It's something that you're gonna remember for a while. So it's great. Once again, thank you very much, Ruski Brat, for donation. And let me check also. Buy me a coffee. And if I may, dear friends, I will end this live stream now. It's more than an hour. It's more than an hour. And well, we had a good chat, isn't it? And I can see members of our community are communicating with each other. It's so nice to see it, by the way, that members of our community are exchanging opinions and communities, you know. That's when you know that community is in good shape, if I may say this way. When people are communicating, exchanging opinions, it's great. Just a sec. Что я думаю насчет мирного плана? Peace plan where? Arab peace plan. Oh, thank you very much. Спасибо, Ань. Dear friends, my wife just told me that question that Valentina reminded me to see. Yes. And young Valentina right now repeated, what do you think of the Arab peace plan? Well, first of all, we have to notice that unfortunately government of Israel dismisses any plan at all. So they are not willing to discuss any peace plans. Not a one-state solution, no two-state solution, no nothing. Same time, in Arab world there is also divide. It's some are in support of two-state solution, like it's official position of UN also, because decisions have been made and votes have been conducted, and two-state solution was one that was chosen. But there are other opinions also, and well, some opinions are about one-state solution when everybody has equal rights, and the other is that Israel is basically giving up all the occupied territories, withdrawing its kibbutzes from occupied land, and then peace talks may take place. At this point, Levan has no choice or they will shut him down. Doman Tiadas is writing, what choice do I don't have? I mean, so, well, I don't know, dear friends. I don't know. I don't think at this point any peace plan may prevail, because Netanyahu's government is not willing to have a peace talks. They are not willing to back down, and in this kind of situation, no matter what plan will Saudi Arabia have, for example, no matter what UN will say, as long as Netanyahu is and his criminal associates are not willing to de-escalate, it will not happen. You cannot speak directly about GU question. What question, dear friends? What do you mean? I don't think there is any topic that I cannot talk, really. Even if YouTube will delete my channel, you know, let them do so. You know? YouTube will shut you down. They can shut down my channel anytime. They can shut down my channel at any time, really. I mean, they may said any video of mine is offensive to some people. The Jew question. And what is the Jew question? I mean, if you mean question about peace plan, then I said that Netanyahu's government will, as long as this government exists in Israel, I don't think there will be peace, because these are extremists, by the way. These are terrorists. Netanyahu and his government are as terrorists as Hamas. So if you say Hamas terrorists, okay, they are terrorists. They conducted horrible crimes on 7th of October. Everybody agrees on that. And then I will say Netanyahu and his government, they also are terrorists. And they commit 10 times, 20 times greater crime in last 2 months, killing 20 times more civilians. And unfortunately, world community is unable to do anything about it, at least for now. So, you know, I would love to say that there is a perspective of peace in the Middle East, and peace talks may be gone right now, and tomorrow there will be no hostilities. But unfortunately, this is not the case. This is not the case. As long as Netanyahu and his government is in power in Israel, I don't think anything will change towards the peace. Exactly opposite may happen. Netanyahu may and his people may provoke conflict with Lebanon and then with Iran. That's what I'm afraid of. And then entire region will end up in war, and that will devastate not just Middle East but entire world. That's what I think may happen, unfortunately. I hope I did answer questions, dear friends. I mean, I cannot be more specific because Arab peace plans, well, specifically what Arab peace plan, Saudi Arabia has its own reading of a peace plan. Other countries have their own reading of peace plans. Majority are in support of, as I understand, in support of two-state solutions, which is also one that promoted by UN, and the head of UN is talks constantly on this topic. So, I mean, Ruth, Greening, veteran of our community, thank you very much for participating and for your attention. Thank you. And dear friends, if I may, I will end this. Stream now. Sorry if I miss any questions, dear friends. It's not intentional. Whenever I see a question, I'm trying to answer as best I can. I mean, there can be some topics that I just have no idea, and I will say then that I have no idea. If you ask me some question about, I don't know, on topic that it's, I mean, I don't know, then that's what I'm gonna say. I just don't know. I don't have opinion on that topic. But if I have opinion on some topics, I will share it without scaring that YouTube gonna delete my channel. You know, they can delete my channel anyway. So this is it for now, dear friends. Thank you very much once again for participating. Thank you very much for participating, and see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.